A mystery along the shores of Lake Erie. A decade ago, remains of a person were found in Oregon.
Yeah, but who that person is still unclear. Now detectives are waiting for the public's help. I-Team reporter Christina Williams has this week's case files.
A summer night in mid-July along the shores of Lake Erie. A fisherman was out near Maumee Bay behind the Bayshore Power Plant and made a discovery that stopped him in his tracks.
He believed he had seen a skeleton on the rocks.
It was around 6 o'clock on July 17th, 2014. Sergeant Jason Druckenmiller was working road patrol that day. He says calls for bones along the banks come in often and are typically an animal, but this time.
As soon as I looked over the bank and saw the skeleton, it was immediately apparent that it was human.
Oregon police detectives and the Lucas County coroner responded to the core dyke, documenting what was found. Most of the bones were intact, but one key piece of evidence that could help identify the person was missing.
There were no teeth on the skeleton, so to us it kind of suggested that maybe somebody had removed the teeth in an attempt to conceal the identity. But when we got the information back from the forensic anthropologist, they determined that there was no teeth in the person's mouth before they died.
The coroner's report says the skeleton is that of a white man between the ages of 40 to 65. He was around 5'7" to 5'9" in height. A bone was sent to the state crime lab and then to the University of North Texas to extract DNA. A profile was created and put into CODIS, an FBI database. But to this day, the identity of that person is unknown. Police believe the person died less than 6 months before the remains were discovered. But what happened leading up to or causing their death is a mystery.
I don't know how long he was in that location. We believe that the body actually had drifted up and been deposited in that location. We don't believe that that body was actually placed there.
There was no clothing, no jewelry, and no clues.
There's been no indication of who it is. They don't know where the person came from. They don't know how they ended up in the lake. So there's no information up to this point. It could have been something simple as they fell off a boat somewhere in the lake and nobody reported it.
Oregon police looked into missing persons cases from Toronto, Canada, North Carolina, and Monroe, Michigan, but no match. 10 years later, detectives are simply waiting for someone who lost a loved one to come forward, with the hopes of someday identifying Oregon's only John Doe.
After 10 years, it's probably, I would assume if somebody was missing a relative, they would have reported it by now.
If you have a missing loved one or think that this could be someone that you know and have information, you're asked to reach out to local authorities. That information will then be forwarded to Oregon police. And if you have an unsolved case that needs attention, all you have to do is email me, casefiles@13abc.com. Reporting for the I-Team, Christina Williams, 13 Action News.